Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamey Daddy channel. Today we have episode 2 of Useless Talents, which is basically a little episode that I'm working on, or series that I'm working on, that will analyze a lot of the talents, go through different scenarios, and pretty much assess why these design decisions may have been made, or what scenarios or even situations you'll even need to use some of the RPG aspects of this game, which is represented by talents, stats, and a whole lot of other things. Now, today's video, nonetheless, is pretty much I would say it's a damning critique of my own position, which was quick to dismiss this particular talent when it showed up on the scene and started to go make its rounds as a very useful talent in the game. Now, this talent is Tamper Proof. Now, I can't remember when Tamper Proof showed up in the game. I don't know if it showed up as everything launched or if it showed up sometime down the road. I mean, there's so much that's been added, and I can't even give you kind of a historical aspect of it. But I do remember, though, that this particular talent actually got a slight nerf in its cooldown time and its arm time. I think that was one of the things that got changed over time, because it started to gain notoriety as a very solid talent. People were using the ability of a skill to be able to do its job and also have an additional crowd control aspect to it, and that was favoring a lot of people. I don't know what may have spurred even the decisions to get it nerfed. Or to get it changed. Maybe the developers saw, as sometimes they will, oh, they're having too much fun, and then they nerfed it. But Tamper Proof does one thing. It says enemies that walk within 3 meters of your hive, turret, or remote pulse are shocked. The arm time is 2 seconds. Cooldown time per skill is 10 seconds. So if you have a skill deployed, if an enemy walks within 3 meters of that skill, it's going to shock them. And, they're so on and so forth. I've seen this used in legendary missions from time to time. And, to me, it just was one of those things where I was like, yeah, I don't necessarily think this talent works for me or my play style. That's kind of what I thought for the longest time. And I'll show you a scenario where I really did wish I had Tamper Proof. So, by the way, the LCN clan is a clan that I'm a member of here on PlayStation. This is my PC account, by the way. And on joining the clan, one of the first things that, they basically took me through was to get me, into the Iron Horse raid as quickly as possible. So my very first few assignments as I started playing was to man the right side, taking care of the sniper and taking care of this particular spawn area. This particular spawn area, enemies just continue to come at an interval. I think eventually you get enough experience to be able to time it. But at this door, I really did wish I had Tamper Proof. And I kept hearing people in the group saying, yeah, I got my Tamper Proof build and all that stuff. And they were taking care of the left side and all the other activities that go on there, which I don't even know yet. That's something that I need to work on learning. But this particular scenario where enemies are spawning from a known location is very important. And if you have a build using Tamper Proof, you give yourself the most important thing that you need in raids, which is a little bit more time to get yourself together. And as the enemies are coming out, if you notice, I'm actually using a shock trap here. They're trying to evade the shock. They're trying to do all kinds of crazy stuff. Thankfully, I have a backup. Somebody's also shooting them that's also manning this area with me, because you have a heavy that spawns. And what Tamper Proof would do is Tamper Proof will provide you that crowd control that you need to stun the enemies for a little bit so that you can take on them. And this is one important scenario that I got to see Tamper Proof at work doing a very solid job. Now, yes, it probably is not something as myself, a player, will run all the time or run all over the place, but I definitely see it being useful. Another really cool aspect too is if you think about Dark Hours, Operation Dark Hours, the other raid, where you do know where enemies will be spawning from. It makes a whole lot of sense that groups can coordinate where you have somebody say, I'm just going to put one of my, skills here, and it will help to provide some crowd control. Because Dark Hours at the end with Razorback, it's a little weird because, things are kind of scattered. Maybe you can use it in Boomer. Maybe you can even use it with, what are their names? The two that jump down in the airplane hangar or something like that. But there are opportunities where you have definitive mission progression or mission encounters, which are events pretty much. And this is where a talent like Tamper Proof comes in. When you're doing free roam, nonetheless, it's a little tricky. I mean, like I said, I've just listed these scenarios and raids. Maybe say if you're playing a control point, you could throw a skill close to, a spawn door, maybe like, the enemy leader is going to come out of there. You want them a little, you want them shocked a little bit. You can throw maybe a grenade, or maybe you can shock them with the hive, and then throw maybe your chem launcher in there. Poof, everybody melts. Awesome. Now, again, another thing that many might say is, this doesn't provide a lot of damage, nor is it efficient. And if you notice that in my last video, I think I may have mentioned this, there are talents that do work, in a general sense. And then there are talents that work in specific scenarios. And another thing is, the beauty of talents is they are not designed to only work in a vacuum by themselves. There are many other complementing, talents and stats that do a wonderful job in, in bringing the talent to a place where it's much useful, because they hold themselves up together. Now, I do get it. Some talents can stand on their own. I mean, even if you go ahead and maybe slap like, a momentum, backpack, I mean, adrenaline rush is, it can do a good job for you. But again, intimidate is kind of the de facto talent that you will run with it. You can run intimidate, but again, you almost don't want to run intimidate without adrenaline rush. So even though these two talents are really good talents that can stand on their own, they still find themselves in a position where, pairing them is really good. Another talent that can really stand on its own, if you really want to go that route, is braced. Braced, and the perfect version of it too. It's a talent that, if you don't want to run, I mean, you could just put it on your chest piece and run whatever it is you want to run when it comes to weapon. Get weapon handling. Yes, it will benefit from weapon handling stats as well, but nothing more, nothing less. If you use braced, you will see the difference on anything that you're using. In fact, I think, let me see if I can show you that real quick. Braced works while you're in cover. And say a weapon like your Merciless. Merciless has a very weird, I mean, if you notice, you just get this kick going on. But when you're in cover and you're using it, you see how different that is? And I don't need to add anything else. So braced by itself is just one of those talents that really can do that. But Tamper Proof, yes, it can do some crowd control, but, you also kind of need, I would say some other complementary talent. But then again, in the raid, you're running a damage, setup. You're not necessarily running a lot of these other, talents and stuff. So what you need more than anything is time. And so I believe that Tamper Proof is not a wasted talent. And I've come to believe that, because again, I said, this is more of a critique of my own position to quickly dismiss the talent, especially after it got nerfed. And then when it came time to play some of the much more, I would say, specialized level of missions and stuff, I found out that I was just wrong in general. So in keeping an open mind, I've been able to learn a lot more. And I believe that Tamper Proof is now one of those talents that I'm going to be structuring a build around. And yes, it may be a one scenario build, but there's nothing wrong with efficiency and the effectiveness of this. And by the way, if you've not played the Operation Iron Horse raid, I would, basically just encourage you to go ahead and join the LCN clan. There is a Discord channel that you can reach out and say you want to play a raid. There are people on PlayStation, some on Xbox that are able to carry you through the raids and show you the ropes. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to matchmake with people. You can also join the Gamey Daddy Discord. You can have conversations about builds, whatever it is. It's really very chill and laid back. I don't really do much on there. It's just more of a community forum for now. Over time, maybe I'll get to set things up more. Perhaps as we get more content in year 3, you see more of my presence on Discord. But let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about this talent? Do you think it's one of those talents that, you could do without? I think you can. I think you can do without Tamper Proof. But again, I don't think anymore anyways, like I used to, that it's a useless talent and doesn't really have a place or a role. But that's pretty much it for me today. Thank you very much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully we'll talk in another video. Peace out.